July 4th, America's birthday. Before war, it was America's birthday. Now it has a different meaning for you.
Yes, July 4th is my Alive Day. I would say July 4th, 2007. And also July 4th is actually my sister's birthday as well. I remember when I got home. So when I got home, I remember my mother telling me that they got a phone call that, telling them about what happened at my sister's birthday party, if you can imagine.
What did happen?
I was hit with a improvised explosive device in Baghdad, Iraq. It was a pressure plate IED inside of an IA checkpoint, Iraqi Army checkpoint. And so now for me,
what injuries did you have from that?
So I had a severe traumatic brain injury with cognitive disorders. I had bleeding in the sinus cavity. I had multiple fractures to the pelvis, screws, plates, rod in the femur, damage to my sciatic nerve, shrapnel in different areas. I lost of use of my left leg, below the knee. I'm trying to think what else. It's various little different
Quite
things.
a bit. So medically speaking, when you have a blast injury, 4 things happen. Number 1, it's the airwave of the blast. In movies, when you see, cars flip over after a blast, there's a pressure airwave. That's the sinus ruptures, the ruptured eardrums. And then type 2 injury is when pieces of shrapnel fly at you. Type 3 is when you get picked up by the blast and your arm hits a wall and you break your arm. And type 4 is if the blast is laced with cyanide or some chemical agent. So you basically had a type 1, a type 2, and a type 3 injury. You have an injured leg, you have injured body parts everywhere, shrapnel probably remaining in your body, and all sorts of other injuries. This is what our veterans are facing. So July 4th is your Alive Day. So you don't look at fireworks the same way.
No, I do not. So I haven't, I wouldn't say that I've celebrated July 4th. It has become easier for me. I've found different ways to kind of cope with it, I guess, in a way where it doesn't affect me as bad. And for me, July 4th, we kind of have a family get together at the house. Well, I shouldn't say it. My family stays home, and I usually put on headphones or something like that. It is sometimes it's hard for me. I kind of get different waves of emotions all at once, and I'm learning how to deal with them better. But like the last July 4th, it wasn't as painful as the past ones, where I actually got to enjoy it just with the family. A lot of times I feel bad or guilty because my family can't go out and express or experience the fireworks and things like that, but they're very understanding and supportive. We did kind of, put on some music. We played some Connect 4, Battleship, and I can see how much they really tried just to take my focus off of it.
Right.
My community, I'm very lucky. The community I live in now is there's a lot of combat veterans on my street. I didn't really hear too much of the fireworks. It was more of a distance, but I think the whole small community kind of has a directed area just to do that, right, and to enjoy that. So it wasn't as bad, and I didn't just like anything, something happens, you go through your spiral, and for me, everything's a season. So it's not gonna just hit me for one day; it'll hit me for several weeks after. And I can honestly say this year, with time and support and everything, but this year, I want to say my funk lasted about a week. Right. When usually it'll be, the rest of July, or even prior to that, June, July. And then I've lost friends from, March, April, May, June, always in the beginning of the month. So it starts my funk starts early, and as it gets closer to my day, it's already built up of emotions. And I've been able, the same thing with those, I've been able to celebrate their life in a way where it's not depressing, either filling up the balloons and letting them go, or trying to remember them in a way where you try to do something to honor them, as opposed to locking yourself up and crying,
right,
or thinking about what happened, or I don't know, things. You start thinking about things he used to do that were happy and positive, things he used to say when they were happy and positive, as opposed to images or things like that, or things that put you in a negative,
Right.
a negative
spot,
funk, I guess. Yeah, a negative spot.
This is important. So there's two structures we have in our brain. They're called the amygdala. They're almond-shaped structures, one on each side. And that is the particular part of the brain that links a life experience with an emotion. So for July 4th, for you, you may think of summer barbecues, warm wind, good times with the family. That's your amygdala at work, linking July 4th to those memories. But there's a dark side. For the soldier who's been through a different experience on July 4th, such as you when you received your injury, that same noise from the fireworks can transport you to memories of your injury, memories of the battlefield. And that's the same amygdala at work. So we're learning more and more about this, about structures of the brain that are affected during combat, and how to take the symptoms that occur from that, like post-traumatic stress and other symptoms, and treat those and make it easier for guys like you when they come back. But thank you for everything you've done for our country.
Thank you very much. Actually, I want to do a special message to all my brothers and sisters. One thing to always remember: you are special and you are worth it. The battle continues.